Okay, this episode's gonna be a little bit different. We're solely talking about Infinity War on Your Positive Review with Ryan.
And come here. Paw Patrol to Major Tom.
That's like, how many different songs?
Yeah. Just two.
It's just two. It's
three.
Paw Patrol and Major Tom.
Was I not singing
But that's
it?
99 Luft
Oh,
Ballons
thanks,
melody.
I made a whole new song. Paw Patrol to Major Tom.
Wait, is this going?
Well, we're in California. With the paint's flying out of the ceiling.
It better not.
And we are in California.
Coming straight to you from Lisle's bedroom.
Also used to be my bedroom, and what also used to be Ryan's bedroom. Fun fact, friends, we all used to share a bedroom.
Yeah.
4 of us.
So far, we're only missing Miranda.
Yeah. Rip. I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
She's just in a plane.
Yeah, so that might be why it sounds better and why it's not quite as echoey. So first of all, for anybody that was like just super excited for the Constantine episode, that's been postponed a week, so we'll be talking about that next week. This week, we are talking completely about, oh, hey, who are you?
Hello, I am Lisle.
Lisle's joining us today.
Yep.
Special guest.
Yeah.
Featuring feet.
Oh my god.
Feet Lisle.
Featuring Lisle, we are talking completely about Infinity War today. Give me 1 second. You guys talk about something really quick. Good job. Thanks. That was
You're
super
welcome.
helpful.
Very talkative.
Anyway. Just because, like we said on the last episode, Infinity War is a lot to unpack, and we didn't want to really mess with it in our tiny little week section. So this episode might end up being a little long. I apologize in advance. And this weekend, we just happened to be coming out to California, and Lisle wanted to, and I asked her, and Lisle said she wouldn't mind being involved. So here we are.
Da-da-da.
Yeah, so this is going to be a little bit different format. We're not going to do the week section, email thing. It's all just, we're solely going to be talking about Infinity War, so hopefully it's entertaining enough.
Do it.
We just watched a movie. Super quick rant. I'm going to get on my little soapbox. The bonus features for this movie are freaking terrible. They reveal almost nothing. The point of bonus features is to freaking have some sort of new information and show people how you made the movie. All the video, all the behind the scenes stuff for this movie are all promoting the movie that I have bought and watched multiple times. Don't tell me that this is the freaking most ambitious thing ever. It's so dumb. I did think of a fun drinking game, though. Every single time they say the most ambitious project, or quote-unquote, this has never been done before, take a shot, and then you'll be dead in 10 minutes.
Nice.
It's so dumb.
Let's play.
Let's play. Okay, 16-year-old. We do not promote underage drinking on this
Lisle.
podcast.
God.
I'm trying my hardest to quit.
Okay, so we're still in spoiler-free territory. If you don't know what Infinity War is, you should probably get out from under the rock you've been living under. It's the movie that is culminating in 10 years' worth of movies that have come out. It's Avengers Infinity War, all about Thanos and all the superheroes fighting each other. All the ones in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, mostly.
Like
Who's missing?
All the ones that have a movie.
The one that we were just talking about, the girl, Captain.
Oh, yeah,
Marvel.
she's not in the
She hasn't had a
movie.
movie yet.
Freaking spoilers! People, God, we're spoiler-free territory right now.
I'm pretty sure
We-
a lot of
she
people
just said
don't
that
know
lady.
that Captain.
Shh, don't say it now. God.
Okay, really quick numbers. So this numbers is really interesting. Rotten Tomatoes critic scores 83%, audience scores 91%, Metacritic score is 68%.
I think it's Metacritic.
It's like a different Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh my god.
I just thought that was interestingly low, only 68%.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's not a lot. IMDb breaking from their habit is actually 8.6, which may have said last week or something.
2 weeks ago.
The budget was somewhere between 300 million and 400 million, which is a lot of frickin' money.
Yes.
I think it was closer to 300 million though. And then of course it made its money. It made frickin' $2 billion, which is only 4 movies have ever done that. Now, spoiler warning. Everything past here will involve spoilers.
Spoiler warning, spoiler warning. This is your spoiler warning.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what do you guys want to talk about now?
Oh, wow. Anyway, how was your day?
Let's just talk about anything but Infinity War.
What, Infinity War?
Something that makes me happy.
So Justice
Seriously?
League, am I right?
Whoa.
Whoa.
Now we're getting controversial.
Dang.
This movie's good. Nobody's really arguing that point.
True.
It's not really controversial.
Does it break my heart every time? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. It is a little upsetting. I think Drax is the one that kind of is sad for me, because I like Drax a lot. And Mantis. But Drax, it's like he just looks at Quill and he's like, Quill?
Oh.
It's so sad.
I think it's just so helpless. Like, you literally
Yeah.
can't do anything.
There's no way to fight
You
it.
can't even, like, hold on to them because they're just disappearing.
Yeah,
they're
they're not. It's
literally
not like there's a
disintegrating.
body to even
Yeah.
mourn over. It's just there's nothing.
Just a whole lot of nothing.
A whole lot of dust in the wind.
We're all
Whole
just
lot of
gusts in the
sadness.
wind.
A lot of sadness. So yeah, I got first tier Thanos. I wanted to discuss real quick. In my villain research, I think he's quickly ascended the ranks to become a freaking good villain. People are already recognizing him as like an amazing villain in cinematic history. There are a lot of things I like about him. I like the way he talks. He reminds me of like a priest or something with the my child thing.
Yeah.
It's very creepy. And I was worried, but I kind of, like, before the first time I saw it, I was like, they have to do something to make us hate him immediately. Because so far, all he did up until this point was, like, sit around and look
Yeah,
menacing.
he's just been in the background, and
Yeah.
all you know is, like, he's sending, or whatever, he's, like, behind everything, but you're just, you don't really hate him.
Yeah,
You
he's
don't
just
really know
a
a
dude
lot
in a
about
chair. Yeah.
And also, if you don't ever watch the end credit scenes, sometimes you wouldn't even really know
Yeah.
he's there.
Yeah, the only one I think he appears in the main movie is Guardians, the first Guardians of the Galaxy. That's the only movie where he appears in the main body of the movie.
Is he ever mentioned in the first Avengers? Does Loki ever mention him?
I don't think he's ever named.
Okay.
Like, I know that the mouth, the dude with the weird guy that Loki talks to,
Oh,
I
right.
think he refers to him, but the name Thanos is never said.
Okay.
That's why it was such a big Easter egg for, like, comic book nerds, because it's like, comic book nerds know who Thanos is and know what that frickin' wrinkly chin means.
Ah.
But, like, other people are like, well, who the frick's the purple guy? So,
Me.
and
Yeah, same.
it was Lisle all along.
What is that?
But yeah, immediately he's intimidating, frickin' shows up on the scene, and he's decimated Thor's little community. Did he-
Planet. Isn't it a planet?
His little ship.
It's his ship.
The planet was already
Big
blown up
educate.
by
Oh my
frickin' Surtur?
Surtur.
Suitor?
Surtur.
S-U-T-R.
We fought him in
Suitor?
Lango's Avengers.
Oh, yeah.
Good times.
Yeah. Made
Um,
no sense, but
yeah.
good times.
Not at all. But good times. Still fun though. Took us forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he blows up his little community, and then he frickin' beats the crap out of Hulk, kills Heimdall and Loki. That was a really
Right off
good
the
way.
bat.
Yeah, in the first 10
And
minutes.
you already know it's gonna happen because in this the sequence that they always do before the Marvel movie begins, it's usually their normal theme music, but there's like no noise, and you're
Yeah,
like,
it's
what is
super
going
quiet.
on?
It's just a distress signal.
Yeah.
Who, fun fact, is voiced by Kenneth Branagh, who directed the first Thor movie.
Woo!
Fun
Go
fact.
Kenneth!
It starts off real somber, real depressing, and then it's just like somber and depressing the entire movie. It's like one giant losing battle.
Yeah,
pretty
that's what
depressing.
I think I was telling you this when we first bought it and watched it, but it's just so different from all the other hero movies, and it's like Marvel literally didn't even prepare you for this at all.
Because nobody ever dies in any of their
Exactly,
movies.
well,
or if
that's what
somebody
I'm
does die, they didn't actually die.
Yeah, like typical like superhero movies, like with the Avengers, of course, and then all their other single people movies. There's like little losses throughout the movie that lead up to a big win. But in this one, it's like the complete opposite, where it's like little victories that lead up to this just terrible loss.
Yeah.
It's like,
But that
It's like
is
real life.
also what makes... Wow, sick burn to real life.
Oh my God.
oh my god, okay.
Didn't make any sense.
Not even a little bit.
I mean, that's kind of what also makes Thanos a good villain. What makes a good villain is having them win. He wins.
He takes all the people we love away.
Basically.
Everything I love has gone away.
Yes.
I do like that he's not funny. They made that mistake with Ultron. Instead of making him intimidating, they made him goofy and funny, and it was a waste. Thanos is very not funny. He has little to no sense of humor. I can't think... The only joke I can think of is when he insults Nebula.
What does he
When
say?
when she's fighting him, and she's like, "You should have killed me," and he's like, "It would have been a waste of parts."
Oh.
That is the only thing that I can think of that comes close to a joke.
But then it's also really sad because when you think about it, like, she was also his daughter, like
Yeah.
Gamora was, so it's actually not funny at all. It's
Yeah,
really
her
depressing.
story is so depressing.
I know.
Yeah, it's freaking good, dude.
God.
I like Nebula a lot. I don't like the lady that plays her. The Black Order, for those who don't know, are the friggin' 4 children of Thanos,
The main children.
who only one of them really has a name that's mentioned in the movie. And the Maw, that's the Maw, the Squidward guy. He was cool. I liked him a lot, but the Black Order really served no purpose other than to die.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, because I thought it was interesting how the two who go after Vision Stone.
They're like the same thing. They're both spear people.
Yeah, but
I
it's
feel
like
like
once they get
that's-
defeated, they just leave. They're like, yeah, never mind.
Oh yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Think about.
I don't like those two. It's because they have like a stronger connection or whatever.
What
Because
do you mean?
with the other two, like Squidward and the huge guy, they're just there. Like, they're just villains. But then these two, it's like they have a story to them. Like,
sort of,
they're really,
yeah.
they're like attached
Oh,
to each other, you know?
Hmm.
maybe they're real
Like, they have
siblings in real
feeling.
life.
That's what I was thinking.
Maybe
They
they're
look
twins.
nothing alike.
I don't know.
Yeah, twins.
They're both
and the
ugly.
female has those weird horns.
I
They're
don't.
both
The
ugly.
freaking goat lady.
Both ugly.
Coat lady.
Anyway. Oh, I guess I should have said this. I always do this. This is not going to be linear for people listening. We're going to kind of just talk about stuff that I wrote down that I thought was really cool. So I apologize for the non-linearness of this. But this is really for people that have seen the movie that just kind of want to geek out with us. Because that's basically what we're doing. It does piss me off about Thanos' eyes in the other ones.
Glowing.
In the other ones, he's got like black eyes with like glowing blue irises, and then they change it in this one, and I know why they change it, and it still makes me
Why?
angry.
Why?
To humanize him.
Oh.
To make him look more human. And it works. I mean,
Well, they should have thought of that 5 movies ago.
So they did
exactly.
it every other movie that he was in.
Yeah, for the
If you
most-
look back
Well, he
at the
kinda
old Guardians and
changes,
stuff.
like each movie.
Yeah.
There's like a little, like
it's
he's not as purple. He, like stuff like that. But
In the Avengers, he's very purple.
yes.
And then they kind of tone it down.
Arnie?
He's always had like bright blue glowing eyes.
Oh my god.
And
yeah,
I-
like every time until this one.
Yeah,
That's really crazy.
some of the guys I hang out with make fun of me because I have a thing for like eye effects in movies. Anytime there's a cool thing with eyes, I'm like, ah. I mean, you guys haven't seen the old Blade Runner, but like in the old Blade Runner, they'd have this thing where it's like the robot people, their eyes would look, they'd have that like dog thing, like when you shine a light on dog's eyes and it gets like that weird like
Oh.
shine to it. they did that to the robot eyes in Blade Runner. And ever since then, like, anytime somebody has an eye effect in a movie, I lose my mind.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Like Ronan's eyes in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
His eyes are really cool, too.
Oh.
And Pennywise, you always freak me
Ah.
out.
Yeah. Penny. Well,
Don't say
his
his
is
name.
funny
Like saying
because...
his name, it freaks me out.
No.
I was gonna say
Pennywise.
it. Stop.
Well, I like because his eyes, he like goes wall-eyed, and
Yeah.
that's cool.
Okay.
Anyway, but yeah, so I mean, it's the same thing they did with frickin' Voldemort in the Harry Potter movies. They give him human eyes, even though he's supposed to have red eyes. They do it because it's like they got to make him more human. It's like, no, they're monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Let them not be human. I don't.
Well, it makes it creepier because we're like, ugh, they're like human.
Yeah. And that's probably what they're going for. And I mean, it worked in this one because Thanos looks very real. Like, obviously, he's all CGI, but he looks freaking real. Like when Mantis is sitting on his shoulders, she looks like she's holding a purple man giant
A
thing.
purple man.
Which is pretty
Why is he so freaking tall?
He's literally
An alien.
I guess.
I think all the people on his planet are that size.
Are they all dead?
Yes.
Yeah, because he killed. Didn't he kill them?
Did he kill the? Okay.
I don't. It's unclear whether he killed them all.
I think
or...
because it is
I just assume he kills
unclear
everyone.
about something I get confused about when I watch Infinity War. Is I'm just like, why has he taken it upon himself to feel like he needs to fix the universe's problems? If they don't make it clear in the movie. So what I'm thinking is, like, he told the council or whatever of his planet his idea, and they were like, no, you're a freaking lunatic. And they, whatever, they maybe got rid of him, or, I don't know. They never say. So I'm thinking they obviously didn't go through with Thanos' plan, and then that's what ended up happening to his planet, is what you see is Titan. So I'm wondering if maybe because he saw that happen, now he's like, okay, well, I think I have a good idea, so I'm going to run with it and try to help everybody else.
Well, yeah.
Or, help, quote unquote, is what he thinks he's doing. I think that he thinks that he obviously isn't a villain. I don't think he's doing it out of, like, malice.
Yeah.
Which I think also kind of, I don't know if that makes him a good villain or not. But
I think that does make him a good villain because it's like, you can see, like, why he would try and do that. Because if that did happen to his planet, he's trying to save
help,
everyone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it's obviously...
Yeah, I think that the first implication I got was that, and I think this is what you're saying, is that he told his planet, like, we are overpopulated, this is not going to work.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, what's your solution? He's like, kill half the population. And they're like, no. And then they banish him or whatever. And then some sort of apocalyptic event happens, and everybody dies.
Yeah, and I don't think he caused it. I think that's just what ended up happening, and that's what he was trying to stop.
Prevent, yeah.
Because he saw that happening. So now he sees that happening to the whole universe.
Yeah.
When it's like, who even knows that would happen, but he just sees that happening.
Yeah.
And maybe he does feel bad about it happening to his planet because maybe he didn't try hard enough to, like, have them go through with what he was, like, his plan.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's actually, I just saw something. It's actually based on a real theory. Oh boy.
Whoa.
The Malthusianism theory?
Oh, wow.
No, get out of here, Siri. The Malthusianism theory.
The heck?
Malthusianism.
Wow.
Yeah. According to the theory, overpopulation is a primary source of conflicts and poverty due to a resource shortage. That's why the theory envisions wars, diseases, earthquakes, and other events of mass death or destruction as a way of survival, peace, and prosperity. So it's saying that all the wars, all the diseases, all that stuff is all caused by overpopulation in a way to prevent overpopulation. So it's based on a real thing, basically. So he just came to that conclusion on his planet, was like, well, we need to do something.
Yeah.
And then when they called him insane and banished him, assuming, not actually confirmed, but assuming they banished him, then everybody died. And then he's like, well, see, in the comic books, his motivations are more comic booky. This one makes him a bit more realistic, but I feel like it's a little confusing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In the comic books, he wants to impress
What?
death.
Oh.
Excuse me.
Yeah, he wants to impress the physical... Yeah, a girl, basically.
Oh,
Weird.
God.
And so in order to impress death, he's like, well, I'll just kill half the universe.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I mean...
Great plan. Love it.
But I feel like it makes a little bit more sense. Like, it's goofy, and it's like, okay, whatever.
Well, it's just straight
but,
to the point.
Yeah.
Because we don't
Yeah.
really know what his motives
there's-
are.
And
And also...
he just does hate everybody.
Yeah,
He's like,
honestly.
Get rid
Get
of
rid
half.
of
But,
half.
like,
them.
at the end, when he snaps his fingers and then he goes to little Gamora and she's like, what did it take? And he
What
said
did it cost,
what did it
Lisle?
cost? Sorry.
God.
Oh my
Right.
god. Sorry.
Can't take you
And
anywhere.
so... And he goes, what does he say? Everything?
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. What is that? What?
Yeah, see, I don't know. That's why I think there was rumors somewhere that they're going to make a movie about Titan, the planet. So they might explain
That would be
some
helpful.
motivations. Maybe in the next one they'll explain some motivations. Assuming they have enough time to do everything they have to do in that movie.
Oh my god, they better not make...
Because they have a lot of crap that they got to do in that movie.
Well, what I was
They don't
just
have to make
thinking
another
is,
movie.
like, because he says everything when she asks him that. So maybe he does just feel like he's kind of like Tony, where he has just taken all this, like, responsibility on himself. When in reality, it doesn't really need to be on Tony to save the universe, but he feels like it is. And so maybe that's like just Thanos, too, where he feels like he is saving the universe, and this is really the only option he sees. But I mean, you've obviously seen that with Tony. He's come up with he caused the second Avengers, where he thought he found a solution, but it ended up going really, really bad. So like maybe with Thanos, like he just sees this as the only option, and he wants to save the universe. So he's like he's willing to risk almost everything. Well, actually everything.
According
Just
to
like Tony would almost kind of be.
I think you just uncovered another reason why Thanos is a
Yeah.
good villain, because he has the same motivations as Tony.
Yeah.
He wants to save
Save
people.
the universe.
Oh my
It
god.
doesn't... In the movie, he said to Tony... Well, this doesn't really... He's like... You're
I
the
too-
only genius or whatever.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because he knew about Tony. Oh my god, yeah.
Oh my god.
I think I just blew my
So
own
ma-
mind.
Whoa!
So many truths have been uncovered.
Jeez, wow.
Like the frickin' meme with the brain.
Exploding.
It's just
We've reached a
consecutively
higher
even
plane.
more and more exploding. So basically what just happened to all of us.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't even think I can continue. I think we should
End the
just
podcast.
End it here.
I figured it out. They don't even have to make a second movie. Oh, jeez.
Okay. Well, anyway, so speaking of Tony Stark,
Anyways.
I have talked about Tony Stark to pretty much... Should we do this later? Should we get to some of the other characters? Because this one's kind of long.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
I don't know.
Yeah, let-
Talk about this now or later?
Well, let's
I
just...
think we should.
Talk
'cause
about
I
Yeah,
just
we're already
read
talking
all
about...
of-
Okay, we're already talking about Tony, so... basically, anybody that'll listen to me, I've talked about this theory with Tony. Tony Stark, in Civil War, I kind of became not happy with him up until the end of Civil War. If you haven't seen Civil War, again, freaking get out from under the rock you're living under.
Probably at Target still. Oh no, I think I just out there when we were at Target in Prescott.
Yeah, we were over there.
has everything you need.
Really,
It really
they do.
does.
It's a little...
We were just there today. I spent
yeah.
$60 on things I don't need.
Some of it was for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great deals though.
Yeah.
Half off of their
Clearance
whole one. Yeah.
Stuff.
Great.
Got stuff
Love
for,
it.
like,
Got a cactus light.
Yeah. Look at that.
Oh,
I
Yeah,
my
okay.
second
Got a new
cactus
cup?
light.
I got 2 new cups.
And one of
I
them
didn't
was for
even need
you.
cups.
Seriously.
Now I just have cups.
I just have some cups.
Like the dude with the limes. How do I hold all these cups?
Anyways.
Anyway, Tony Stark has become, in my opinion, the most compelling character. To be fair, he's also like the most prevalent. Like, I think he's been in the most movies, so it's like...
He's the first Avenger.
Yeah.
But, Captain America is the first Avenger.
I'm sorry.
God.
Was that the first movie?
No.
No, it was
It's
Tony.
I was thinking...
subcategorized as Captain America.
Well, yeah.
My bad, the second Avenger.
When like the movies, talking about the movies, he was...
Tony Stark was the first. But I don't
his movie started it all.
Yeah,
That's
10
crazy
years
to think
ago.
about.
That's really weird, because I remember, and we were like, should we watch this? And we were like, sure.
I remember seeing it the night it came out. I saw it the day it came out by myself in the Escondido Theater, and then went to like a game night at the high school. Because it came out in 2008, which would have been, I would have been a junior in high school. I remember. Because I had my backpack with my gaming stuff in it at the movie theater.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Anyway. Fun story. But I don't know if all this writing that they've done for Tony is intentional.
Yeah, like, did they plan that all out from the very beginning?
True.
Because it's so well done. And I don't know. That's why I don't know if it just is randomly. And it's like, it's something that.
Like that?
Or if it's something I created in my head and it's not actually the way it is. It's so well done. I mean, first of all, the frickin' line he says... Well, I mean, his disappointment gaze is probably my favorite part of the movie. And he's talking to the Guardians, and she messes up the friggin' line, and he just looks at the ground in disappointment. It's so funny.
I feel like Spider-Man at that point was just really confused.
He's like, what? I don't
understand what she's trying to say.
But I love the line, he's from space, he came here to steal a necklace from a wizard.
He's telling Peter what's going on.
It's the most ridiculous sentence.
But that's what's happening.
It makes sense. Yeah.
It's so funny.
Really simplified.
It's well-written comedy, because it's like they don't explain it. It's just like, yeah, that's what's happening. Yeah. And it's funny. And
Peter understands.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure, okay.
Right, okay, whatever.
I mean, in the world they're living in, why would you question it?
Exactly.
Yeah, living in a world of superheroes.
Yeah.
It's a terrifying world.
Starting at the beginning of Tony's story, he was this selfish jerk who gets this wake-up call by getting captured, almost dying, that whole thing.
Whole thing.
Yeah, that whole typical Saturday morning.
Just a typical Saturday morning for Tony Stark.
But all of his villains in his standalone movies and in Age of Ultron, so we're gonna go through this and try to not lose my train of thought, try to make it coherent. All of his standalone movie villains have all been created by either his selfishness or his father's selfishness. It's interesting because there's the whole superhero thing with the chicken and the egg, which came first. Did the supervillain come first? Did the supervillain start terrorizing people, and so the superhero rose up to attack the conflict, or did the rising up of the superhero cause the supervillain to show up, basically, and to combat that? The just easy example for Superman, there's a villain called Brainiac. If Superman wasn't on Earth, would Brainiac have shown up to fight Superman? But then conversely, if somebody like the Joker is terrorizing Gotham, then Batman has to rise up to combat the threat. So it's like, those are two examples of like the same or opposite sides of the coin. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So.
That's weird, yes.
Yes.
Command needs to stop smoking.
Oh my god.
Gotta kick the habit, dude. But yeah, so all of Iron Man's villains, Ironmonger, Whiplash, Hammer combo, Justin Hammer from the second one, and then Aldrich.
I was like, hammer.
Just a hammer.
Just a
like
hammer.
Thor's hammer?
The friggin' funny guy, Sam Rockwell from Galaxy Quest.
What are you talking about?
Which one?
I know who you're talking about now.
Okay,
I thought that you
sorry.
were talking. Yeah, I know.
Anyway.
I remember the second movie.
And then Aldrich Killian from the third movie was created by Tony when he was a jerk and he told him to go wait up on the roof and he didn't show up and it
so
pissed
sad.
him off. Yeah.
I was honestly really sad about that. I was like,
know.
really, Tony? Come on.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, that was during his jerk phase.
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing is like all these villains have been created by him, and so all this has to. He's a smart guy. He has to figure it out. It's all his fault that these people are suddenly supervillains. And Ironmonger was created because, well, I guess that's a combination of him and his dad, because the company was left to him, but then he's just being like a playboy and not really caring about the company. And Baldy, whose name I can't remember.
Baldy.
But it is Baldy.
Baldy
I just
McBalds.
looked it up.
Okay.
I just looked it up.
Ironmonger, the guy in the other big guy in the suit, is all pissed off because he's being a playboy and he doesn't care, and so he just starts double dealing weapons under the table, and then Tony finds out and he's like, well, let's get rid of Tony. So,
Well,
Rude.
but then he like you said, he takes it upon himself to fix these problems because I mean they're of his own making, so it's like
right. Well, yeah, but
makes sense.
obviously in his own movies, like, yeah, go fix the problems.
Yeah.
But he's taken it ever since the first Avengers. He's known that they're dealing with things from other planets now, bigger threats. So he's just taken it upon himself to protect the whole world.
yeah,
Maybe not the universe, but
but
definitely the world.
Yeah.
and I mean now I'm sure he's gonna take it upon himself to save the universe, obviously, in the next movie, but
Now he's stuck with Nebula.
exactly, now that he is out in the universe. A strange planet.
But then also, like you said, the solutions that he's brought up have also
Backfire.
Ultron obviously backfired, and the Sokovia Accords in Civil War. He was fully behind the Sokovia Accords, and then it ends up destroying his friendships.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's devastating in another way.
Yeah.
His conversation in Age of Ultron with Steve is one of the more interesting things that I think also help define his psyche when he's when they're cutting wood and he's talking to Steve about, isn't the goal of the Avengers is to not have the Avengers, to wipe out the threats in a way so that we don't have to fight anymore. And Tony's thinking like that because he's an idealist and a businessman, and Steve is combating that thought with, no, we're soldiers, we know we have to fight, because he is a soldier. He came from World War II, where all he did is fight.
Yeah.
And then Tony combats that with, well, we're not soldiers. But I think that did affect him, because he has been given this great power, he has this great responsibility that he needs to take care of these threats. But he also wants to not fight, and that's why he created Ultron. Because he was like, well, if Ultron can just protect everybody, then we'd be fine. But obviously that backfired, because friggin' supercomputers never go well.
Seriously.
Scientists, none of the scientists that are going to be listening to this, but scientists,
Yeah.
quit making super robots.
Seriously. Oh my gosh.
Seriously. Come on now.
Yeah.
God.
Tony also has survivor's guilt, I think, which was also part of the whole PTSD thing from Iron Man 3, from when he shoves the nuke into that black hole, and then he barely survives. He was planning to die.
Yep.
That's why he called Pepper, even though she didn't answer. Yeah.
Sad.
I don't know. It's like they keep tricking me, because every time I think Iron Man's gonna die, he doesn't. And
He always gets saved somehow.
I know, and it's
I
sad.
think that they're building it up.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's gonna die.
happen. I don't know.
He just needs to marry Pepper,
I
and then she just needs to get
know.
pregnant, and then he can die, okay?
How is that better?
Because she still has a part of him if they have a child, okay?
Yes.
God.
And also, he's too smart to
It's
just
like-
kill off his own line.
It's like... exactly!
His
That's
offspring is
true.
obviously
It's
gonna be
like,
ridiculously smart.
The guy from Hunger Games, the one that dies in the last book.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Freaking A.
The
Spear
Spear
guy.
book?
Spear guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you finish this book?
Yeah.
What's his name?
So freaking sad.
That's really gonna bother
Finnick.
me.
Finnick.
Yeah, there you go. I was gonna say Kendrick.
Because,
Kendrick.
like,
Kendrick
He
Lamar.
died and it was sad. and it was sad. But Anna?
I think,
Annie.
Annie.
There you go.
She still had a part of him because she had the son.
And she viewed it properly. She's the one who said that, right? I still have a part of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Such good books, dude. Those are good books. When you talk about
really
that.
good books.
I think that he also has survivor's guilt because everybody keeps dying around him. In the first movie, Jensen, the dude that helps him escape, dies so he can escape and tells him, make it worth it, or something to that effect. I feel like I'm butchering it, which is sad because it's a really powerful moment. And I think I watched Iron Man somewhat recently because I bought it. And I was like, oh my god. Because he says that to him. And ever since then, Tony's been trying to make it worth it.
Oh.
It's, And then Agent Coulson dies,
Right.
even though he's alive in the dumb show. Happy gets injured in Iron Man 3. Almost dies. His bodyguard guy.
Yeah.
And then Spider-Man freaking
Dies.
the guy that he feels like a father to, and that's what all Spider-Man Homecoming is about. It's also about Tony being a father figure, and then Spider-Man disappears.
The worst death ever. I am not over this, okay? They make it the saddest thing. I don't, and it's like he's dying so slowly. Like you pointed that out when we were watching it. He died. Everybody's like, "Oh, okay, they're fading," and then they say Quill or something.
Yeah.
But him, he's like just talking and. Like,
Well,
you're like, oh my gosh, you're dying!
Well, I think
and then he's like 16 years old, and then Tony's there, and oh my god.
Tom
It's
Holland.
because he has spidey senses. I have no idea if this is true or not. I
Well,
just read it somewhere, but
I
it's
honestly feel like
because
that's true.
That's what they say, but he obviously starts disappearing. Like as soon as he's like Mr. Stark, like you can see bits of him.
Okay, yeah, I know. They obviously did that one on purpose, but like people were saying that it's because his spidey senses, he felt something was wrong, and he felt the whole universe dying, and that's why he was like, "Oh, I don't feel good."
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah.
And that would have made
sense.
sense. And I was super on board with that theory until I watched it after I heard that theory. Because then I'm like, no, he's disappearing like way early. I like that theory.
No,
I don't like poking holes in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
I think it.
yeah.
I think
No, it's definitely, I think, because of that death scene that they were like, yeah, let's draw this out.
Let's make everybody cry. Okay, yeah.
It is sad, but that's why freaking Spider-Man Homecoming is so good because I mean it's Spider-Man, you're used to him saving the day, but when he's in that building and it's collapsed on top of him and he starts crying because he can't lift it off himself, that is freaking powerful acting.
It's so sad.
That guy knows
How old
how
is
to
he?
act.
He's like 21.
He's 20-something.
Oh, shoot.
But I mean, he looks like a kid.
Yep, Tom Holland.
Oh my god.
God.
I look like a kid too.
Maybe you can tell him to fix his freaking eyebrow. Just do this.
No, I think that's
not that
how his
hard.
like eyebrow grows or something.
Whatever.
I've tried to look it up and no, it's
Put
like
some freaking
we're.
hair gel
I feel like
in or
sometimes
something.
we're the only ones that notice it. It's because I'll ask about it and they're like, "What? What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Shut
Freaking
up!
eyebrow.
You have seen his face, okay?"
Okay.
But yeah, so that one is Spider-Man's death is rough to
To behold on your eyeballs.
to say the least. It's not nice. And then of course everybody else dies around him.
Except for the one person he doesn't know.
Nebula.
You don't really know anybody except Spider-Man, though, right?
Well, but
yeah,
I mean,
but
if
still.
Quill had been left there, I mean,
That's true.
at least there's some chemistry between them.
That's pretty
It's
accurate.
literally
Even though
just
they
Nebula.
hate each other. It's
She
Nebula.
She wasn't there like for the plan. She just came out of
she
nowhere
showed
during
up
the
at
middle
the
of the
very
battle.
end. Yeah, she crashed one of the Chitauri ships and
How are they gonna get off that point?
I don't
I
know.
don't know. I honestly don't know. The pictures that they've shown from the set, if you haven't seen them, you can look them up or just.
Literally just them sitting on the planet. Like,
Well, it's like the
fun.
pictures from the set. It's like they've gone back in time, so they somehow get the time
Yes.
stone. Excuse me.
They go back to the Battle of New York.
And Cap's wearing his super
his old suit.
lame-looking suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
he
I don't
still
know.
has a shield.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's not mad at Tony yet.
I was honestly really
I
upset
don't think he's
when
even
I was...
still mad at Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is the one who gave him the cell phone.
What?
Captain America gave Tony the cell phone.
When?
At the end of Civil War. That's how he has that cell phone.
I haven't watched that movie in a long time. I need to
Same.
rewatch. We never got to
At the
it
end of
in our marathon.
At the end of Civil War, when they break out, Tony has an envelope sitting on his desk, and in it is that flip phone that he has, and with a note that says, "If you need us, call."
Yeah, see, I don't think he's mad.
Cap isn't really mad at
He
him.
doesn't
Because
seem like
Cap
a person who
is
holds
above
grudges.
that. No.
It's above that nonsense.
I mean, I'm not. That's not like hate. I feel like that sounded really hateful. I love Captain America.
Yeah.
But
Rocket's little story arc is also really interesting. One of the main driving forces of Guardians 2 is his inability to
Trust.
trust, show affection, have affection shown to him, which is the whole him and Yondu thing, which is heartbreaking. That might be my favorite Marvel movie. Guardians 2. Just because of all the character development that happens with all the characters.
True.
It's so good. He spends time trying to learn to love and be loved by his little family.
Oh my god.
But I mean, he doesn't want to face Thanos. And when Peter calls him out on it, his reaction immediately says, yeah, he's afraid. He doesn't want to fight Thanos. And then he's the only Guardian that survives. Literally, well, Nebula, I guess. But loses Groot, loses his whole, all of them. They're all dead, except for Rocket. Super sad. And then the Vision and Wanda thing, which I only noticed after you bought it, Maya, the first time we watched that. I didn't.
I don't know why you freaked out about it
because
so
I was
much.
weirded out the entire time that she's even involved with a robot, so I didn't pay attention. But the first time, yeah, I didn't even catch that until we watched it at home.
He also repeats back Cap's line too at the end.
Yeah. That's all Vision's there to do. He's a computer. All he does is repeat stuff.
Well, that, and then I was like, man, Vision, you really suck in this movie. You are not showing any of your good moves. What the
Well,
so useless.
I think that they did that on purpose, because in Civil War, it's like, how do you combat that? He's like an all-powerful robot, and they're like, well
he
we have
definitely
Scarlet
didn't
Witch
act
on the
like
other side.
that.
But then in this one,
What side was he on in Civil War?
Tony's,
Oh, really?
and Wanda was on Cap's side.
Oh.
So that was their combat, because like she has the reality magic.
Oh.
And so that's why she made him. And when she shoots him down on the surface of the Earth,
Right.
she made him more dense so that he'd just fall. Anyway,
Anyways.
what was I saying? I don't even remember where I was going.
The Wanda and Vision thing. You
I
noticed
just
it
feel
the
you.
second. Yeah. That's and it's so heartbreaking because oh my god.
That's what she did
deal
for
with that.
falling in love with a robot.
I know, but they're like, it's so cute though, because it's like, oh my god,
Cute
okay.
though.
Okay. Cute though.
Dumb, but still cute, though.
Yeah.
But it is. I mean, it is a little. Oh my god. I'm
Yeah, it's
falling
just
apart over
aggravating
here.
watching that movie, and I'm just like, Vision, where are you at? Like, why do they make him so completely useless?
Well, I think the whole him getting stabbed with that spear thing is what, because he says
Is
it's
why
keeping
he's
me
messed
from
up.
phasing.
What the frick does phasing mean?
Like, because in the other ones he can like phase through walls and stuff.
Oh.
So now he can't. He literally can't do anything because of that spear
Completely
stab.
forgot he
yeah,
could do
me
that.
too.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end he does friggin' stab the unnamed.
Yeah, but that's like the
guy.
only thing he does in the whole movie.
True.
Well, he blows up
Well, he's like,
and then he dies.
okay,
And then he comes back.
yeah.
He's gonna come back. I think that they're gonna probably make him more of the actual retro design, because in the retro design in this design he looks really icky. Like, I don't know why they chose gray and thought that would be a good color to put with him.
To die in?
No, like, because his design is like yellow, purple, and gray.
Isn't he red?
Well, in the comics he's like red, yellow, and green, but they made the green
purple?
They made the green gray, and they made the red purplish. And it's like, it looks really bad.
So many fashion faux pas.
Seriously, oh my god.
Get it together, design team.
But yeah, that's heartbreaking. And I feel dumb now, I guess, for not realizing the I just feel you line.
It's just so sad. And then all of her hard work, and it was already depressing because she had to kill him, and then he just freaking rewinds time. Like, what? Are you kidding? No, no. And then he just crushes his head.
It's a really
He's got
cool.
big fingers. With no nails.
I know,
How
but
else
it makes
was
it
he
even
supposed
more
to
depressing
nails?
because he
Not
crushes.
long nails.
Oh,
I'm not saying I was expecting
like you
anything
go,
different. Kamea. Tink. He pauses everything, gets tweezers.
Oh my god. Sorry, I don't want to hurt your head.
I don't think he cares.
No, but it's just so.
It is very sad. I don't really understand his line after that, though. Like when she blows him up, and he's like, I understand, my child,
And I was like,
more than you know.
Well, because he just lost the one
Gamora, yeah.
person he loved.
But then he says
He really
now is not the time to mourn. I wish he'd said now's not the time to mourn, that comes later. That would have been cool. But instead he says now's not the time. Now's not the time. Or what is he? He's like,
I don't know.
it's now's not the time at all. And it's like, what? I don't... It's because he has the time stone and he can just manipulate time for whatever he
just
wants.
trying to make
but
a pun.
probably. I don't know. That's his attempt at comedy for the movie. It didn't work.
Didn't work.
As I pointed out to Mom and Lisle, I think you were in the bathroom. The end battle, I think, starts like half the way in. It starts at like an hour and 24 minutes. Because, like, Doctor Strange says there's the one reality they live in, or they win.
When?
Jeez, I can't. There's the one reality they win in, and then the music kind of starts ramping up, and then it's like, it just goes from there. It's just the entire end battle.
Oh, another person who I felt like was pretty useless in this movie was T'Challa.
Yeah,
They didn't show him doing anything cool
but
at
Captain
all, and he
America
friggin'
didn't do
dies.
much either. Oh, no, he does
did?
the dude
Okay.
Yeah.
holding
Like,
Thanos'.
everyone had, like, cool moments except for Vision and T'Challa.
True.
Yeah.
T'Challa's
Well, I mean,
my
Drax didn't do much.
person. Okay, but he was funny throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, it's
he was in it more
He
than
was
T'Challa was.
entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That's an interesting point. Well, maybe because they didn't
Maybe
know.
it's because they just made his movie.
Well, they also
They
didn't.
were like, we really got to tone you down. Everybody loving you too much right now.
Too much T'Challa. I was not expecting Red Skull to show up.
Oh, that was really, really random.
That was
Super random.
super cool.
Oh, hey.
I know.
Because it gives us closure. Because it's like at the end of Captain America: The First Avenger, he gets beamed up, and then it's like,
So he just got beamed up to that planet?
apparently.
Beamed up.
But yeah, so I guess that's what happened. But it's cool that there's closure, because it's like, well, he didn't really die. You see him literally beam up into space.
I totally forgot that even happens. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
These movies.
Everything
so
just
good.
blends.
It really does. No, the first time I saw him, like, when Thanos came, and then there was, like, this big floating cloak person, I was like, are we in Harry Potter right now? I was really confused.
I was hoping or expecting, like, the embodiment of death. And then they were going to explain that Thanos is trying to impress the embodiment of death. But then,
And I
no.
was like, nope.
Red Skull.
Nope.
Not played by Hugo Weaving anymore.
What?
Hugo Weaving,
The guy
Agent
from
Smith.
Matrix.
Yeah, I know.
He
but
plays Red Skull,
I
but it's
know.
not him playing the Red Skull in this
wonder
one.
I know, but it looks
Because
so much
he
like him.
gave this dumb quote, like, I don't want to be a part of nerd movies anymore.
Oh my goodness.
It's like, dude, that's what made
Rude.
your freaking career.
Yeah.
You're in the Matrix and Lord of the Rings. That's what made you a household name is nerd movie. Pretentious. Ugh. Anyway.
calling us.
I know.
God.
Well, I think he was...
It's like burnt
he's-
all of us.
Seriously.
Oh, freaking Hugo Weaving. Roastmaster. I think he got disenfranchised because of the Transformers movies, because he plays Megatron. And those movies have been critically panned for basically the entirety of their existence. So, The thing that kind of frustrated me, though, about that whole Red Skull thing is Gamora's inability to figure out the thing that literally every human being figured out minutes before she
She's
did.
not watching the movie, though. She's living it.
She's
So true.
she's more concerned with what's going on.
No,
in there.
I was screaming in my head the first time I saw that. I was like, no, you cannot turn around at Gamora and be like, oh, you're the only thing I love. Like,
I know.
No.
I was like,
that
shut
is, you
up.
don't love anything. That is so, no, that's so
But
stupid.
then what's also interesting is that he says to her right before he's freaking about to kill her, was I ignored my destiny once. So does that mean that like when he found her or something, he ignored his destiny to like raise her or something?
Maybe
That's what I was confused
he's
about.
referring to his planet, and he could have saved them before.
Oh.
See, this backs
And
up
he
your
didn't.
little...
Yeah, your
Right,
theory.
I said I ignored my destiny before. Okay, because I thought he was like referring to her, like because you came into my life, I had to ignore this, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Why is Gamora like so special to him? I don't
know.
get it.
Like, he has,
Like
what,
she
5 other
she
children?
Well, I
obviously
think
doesn't
it's-
know.
I think it might be because he's proud of her, like what their whole Nebula. You remember Nebula and Gamora's conversation,
Yeah.
where she always won, and the loser would be cybernetically enhanced.
Yeah. That's awful.
And so Gamora always won, and so she's. I think in the first Guardians, when they do the whole mugshot thing, where they show each character and Peter Quill flips off the thing. I think in her corner it says that she's cybernetically enhanced in some way.
Oh.
So I think that, and that's why she's super strong and all that stuff. Obviously, she's not nearly as cybernetically enhanced as Nebula is.
Yeah.
Because Nebula is basically just a robot. Yeah. Nebula's a good character. They got some really good characters that, I mean, I don't know. I think that maybe that's why we're having this discussion. These movies are wildly popular, but I mean, they're mostly regarded by like serious critics, I guess, as just like blockbuster fare.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of deep stuff in these freaking movies.
True.
And if you friggin' just sit down and think about it, there's a lot going on.
Gotta die.
But apparently none of those cybernetic enhancements helped Gamora's deduction methods because she literally figures it out last. The frickin' Red Skull dude figures it out before she does.
He like instantly knew.
The tears are not for him. And then, of course, super serious moment that turns into Bubbles. Yay.
That
Bubbles.
was seriously so depressing.
It's the most depressing Bubbles have ever been.
Really though.
It's so funny.
Poor
I
Gamora.
don't know why I find it so funny.
Cause it's like,
He gets the Soul Stone, and then there's like, it's just everybody's setting up their own respective arenas. Wakanda, frickin' Titan. Everybody's getting set up to have their final confrontation. And it's just, I mean, the Wakanda thing is, it always reminds me of, I think, Lord of the Rings, because that's like the first movie I remember noticing it, where it's like they have like 3 different battles going on. I think it was Two Towers, because it's like you're following the battle at Helm's Deep, and then it cuts to frickin' Sam and Frodo doing their frickin' thing.
yeah.
The boring parts.
Yeah. But it's like that's always what these kind of things remind me of. Is it's like there's this battle going on here and there's this battle going on here, and it's
Yeah. Oh yeah,
It's all
because for
pretty
a little while there was Thor, Rocket, and Groot on the other place.
On
So you were following like
Nidaleer,
3
yeah.
people.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then freaking Thor beams down into Wakanda. How do these people
Just
even
when they're
know where to
losing.
go? But yeah, he just knew
Awesome.
where to go. He gets down to Wakanda, and it's just like the coolest moment in movie history. When, like, I can't even think of a cooler thing. When he
Legolas.
comes down, not even anything Legolas just done.
Snap.
Yeah.
It's that cool.
Legolas isn't even cool compared
Legolas.
to this.
Oh my
Oh
god.
crap.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Not really,
Orlando
but
Bloom.
it goes this moment and then Legolas.
Just
That's how
all
it
of
should go.
Legolas.
I mean,
Yeah.
command.
But
Legolas
what
are
he
like
does
this.
Inseparable.
when he just So he gets there and everyone's like, what? And then Bruce is all like...
Well, before that, they're all losing.
Yeah.
Like, they're getting overrun by the creepy
Gross
lizard,
things.
6-armed dog thing.
Yeah, so then he gets there and then Bruce is just like, ha ha ha, you're all... What does he
guys
say?
are so screwed now.
Yeah. And then Thor starts running and he freaking jumps into the air, and that like the sound they put in the background, the or how does it go? Yeah, that. And he's in the air and there's just lightning everywhere and the clouds in the back are gray, and then he just his eyes.
Yeah.
His eyes
cool
are
eye effects.
glowing. And he looks like a villain or something. He looks terrifying.
Yeah. He looks like the god of thunder.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's just so cool. And then he like comes down and it's death.
It still
cool.
gave me goosebumps this time.
Yeah, I watch it and I get goosebumps. And then or I don't know if I should talk about this now, but when he comes and he hits Thanos, that part also gives me chills again.
Yeah. Thor he had some really interesting character development in Ragnarok.
Yeah.
That they kind of sweep away in this one. I mean, he has literally the coolest moments in this movie.
Yeah.
And some of the funniest. With the frickin' dwarf guy, that's suicide. Only if it kills me. That's what suicide means.
Like how he's confused.
It's like,
what?
What don't you understand?
Yeah, I've always really liked Thor.
Yeah.
So just in this movie, you're just like, oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, queen.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yes, queen.
Yes.
Oh my god. Yeah.
That should be like in the background of that moment.
Just
like
that
a
stupid
breakaway.
gif.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, queen. Oh my god. Anyway, we're just him showing up and saving the day, and he frickin' comes down, and his eyes are glowing. Eye effects. I cannot express how much I love
we get it.
eye effects.
It's like Kingdom Hearts all over
Oh my god. Dude, okay, so I started playing Birth by Sleep.
Oh my god.
And it's pretty good because there's like 3 characters. You play as 3 different characters. It's really interesting. You play as 3 different characters and you go through the same story with each one and you see different perspectives of the story. It's really good.
That's
anyway.
cool.
Thank you. Alright.
Let's talk about this over dinner.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Thor shows up, saves the day.
Which is what he's for. He basically leveled up in Ragnarok.
So true.
I mean, really, because like before that, he was mostly obsessed with his hammer, and that's the whole.
And he was obviously one of the strongest Avengers, even just with the hammer and what he could do.
Yeah.
But now it's like with Ragnarok, he didn't have his hammer, so
he learned
how to
Yeah.
But he basically leveled up. He got stronger.
Yeah.
And now he has this freaking axe. So
Thing.
wouldn't
That
it
has Groot's arm.
Wouldn't it have been so
cool.
funny though if the part that of his, the axe that was Groot's arm
disappeared
too?
That would have
That'd
been
be
funny.
so
Oh my
funny.
gosh.
That been messed up. So now he's just got 2 metal things.
He just carries it around in his
It's
hands.
so
He
funny.
needs to go back to Nidavellir and find the handle that the dwarf was looking for.
So sad.
But then, meanwhile, back on the ranch, which is a reference that probably nobody's gonna get. I think it's like an old TV thing.
Okay, well, I think everyone gets it, but I didn't know it was from something.
No, I didn't. Okay.
Thanos is fighting the other group of Avengers that have assembled on Titan. In a really cool scene where freaking everybody gets their moment, but then, of course, is the massive scene that everybody complains about with Star-Lord, and they finally have a moment where they're potentially winning, and then Star-Lord does the thing that he has been set up to do. Now, I don't know, again, if they did this on purpose, or if they just were like, yes, let's use Star-Lord because he's known to be... Because in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, he's getting brainwashed by Ego, and the thing that immediately stops the brainwashing is Ego telling him he killed Quill's mother. Immediately, he's like, whoa, hold on. You killed my mom? He's like, I had to do it. And then immediately, freaking blows him away.
Doesn't even hesitate.
No hesitation.
Good.
It's, it's cool.
It's like what he does in this movie, too.
But in this one, we all hate it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, no, Quill, that's not what... Because it's just, Thanos is just so powerful. It
Like
doesn't...
You see Thanos' hand. It's coming out.
I know, it's so aggravating.
Just wait a few more minutes.
See, another thing that I think about this movie is you can literally blame so many people
That's pretty accurate.
for Thanos being able to win.
Loki.
Well, yeah, Loki for taking the thing off of Asgard in the first place.
But what
if he
if-
had just left it there, we would have been fine.
It would have just been like
probably would have
floating in
exploded.
I think it would have just been floating in space.
Yeah.
Wait,
too
okay, well then it
powerful
would have been
That's
harder
what I
to
was
find, okay, whatever.
That's crazy.
And then it wouldn't have been so easy for Thanos to get it.
Yeah.
And then, what's her face? Scarlet Witch for leaving. I mean, even though she kind of had to go save them, but if she hadn't had left,
Like what?
Zuri might have been able to get it out, and she would have been able. But I guess, like, in retrospect, it all wouldn't have mattered. He already had the time stone. But there's just, like, a lot of people I feel like you can blame. Obviously, Thor. He could have aimed for anything but his freaking chest. He could have cut off his arm.
Yeah, he had to
Or aimed for the head.
Yeah. You always aim for that. You gotta aim for that.
Yeah.
So it's like,
We'll
you
talk
can't
about
just
that
be
later.
mad at Peter.
Yeah, well, and I'm not mad at him. I think it's really interesting, and I mean because the first time I
watch it.
Well, the first time I watched it, I was like, oh my god, they set that up. They set him up to be this passionate guy who immediately attempts to kill or hurt the people who have
hurt the people he loves.
Yeah, it's really well done, and I mean, if they had set that up with another character, it would have been. But I mean, these movies are made so close together, and then they're released later. So it's like Guardians of the Galaxy came out pretty close to Infinity War, I think.
Probably, yeah.
So it's like, I feel like they had to plan that. But I like that. I like that a lot. And then one of the coolest scenes in the movie, or images in the movie, in my opinion, is when Thanos starts pulling down the freaking moon.
Oh yeah.
I think it would have killed everybody, but it would have been super cool if he had pulled the entire moon down.
That's what I thought he was trying to do.
I know, that's what I was like, oh
Whoa.
my god, but then it was just, he's just pulling pieces of the moon down.
So it's like a freaking, what is it called?
Meteor shower.
There you go.
But like,
Moon shower.
I guess it's more like
I was gonna say like
Asteroids.
asteroid
shower,
Yeah, I think that's what I was gonna
which
say.
is a bit much. But. And then, of course, Strange has his little moment where he's fighting friggin' Thanos, which is cool because, he didn't really do that much in his own movie. Like, we didn't really see a whole lot of variety in magic. But in this one, it's like he pulls out all the frickin' stops, does all kinds of magic, the frickin' tentacle
he just saw
thing.
their Earth, or he just saw them losing 14,605 times. So,
Gosh.
well, it would be 604 because one of the times they do win.
They do win, yeah. Fun fact, I still haven't seen his movie.
What the?
Really?
Yep.
It took me forever to see that movie. I didn't see it until it came on Netflix.
It's
Yikes.
fine.
And I was like, oh, well, when I saw the trailers, I was like, that movie's going to give me motion sickness. It didn't, but
Because they're
I was like,
moving all over the place.
I don't think I've
really,
really.
it's pretty good. It's entertaining.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I might watch
haven't
it.
seen his movie.
They freaking waste.
Yeah,
It's
I
hilarious.
They
legit.
waste the villain, though. It's so frustrating. They have such a good actor play the villain, and he does literally nothing. So lame.
Thought it was a girl.
No. It's the dude with the frickin' galaxy thing around his eyes.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name. Elkith? No, that's the Dark Elf. Anyway, Tony's standoff was pretty intense because going into the movie for the first time, I really thought Tony was gonna die.
Yeah, I thought he was too.
And when the music starts playing and he's fighting Thanos with like everything he's got and his pieces of his suit are breaking off, I was like,
That little foot thingy. That like suction cups. his
Yeah.
hand to the ground.
I was like, no, Tony, don't get that close to him.
Yeah. What are you doing? Yeah. And then, of course, frickin' he makes that little blade, and I was like, immediately, the first time I was like, oh my god. Is it gonna happen?
I thought Tony was gonna die in the very first scene when he's planning out his future. I was like, oh, there he goes.
Just a meteor comes
He's got
down and
hope.
strikes him.
Completely unrelated.
Completely unrelated event.
Tony dies in weird accident.
Strange car accident.
Oh my god.
But, and I still remember the gasp the first time Tony gets stabbed. The entire theater. It was intense.
Nobody wants anybody to die. God.
Yeah. And then, of course, all the other stuff we've talked about. Friggin' Thanos, of course, gets the stone, leaves, and then Quill says one of the more interesting lines, did we just lose? They're not accustomed to losing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you said, they are accustomed to small losses, but ultimately
they always
win. And then this one, did we just lose? Moment of devastation.
They also realize, like, oh,
we just
sure
lost.
we did. Oh, shoot! That should have been Peter's line. Oh, shoot! He's like 16.
He's like,
He'd get it.
Oh, Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Peter
Oh,
Parker.
yeah, sorry. I forget they have the same name.
Same.
It's
When he
not
said
like
Peter, I was like, we weren't even talking about him.
No, he wouldn't get that.
I love that you should have gone for the head. That is one of the most, like, I'm a cool guy taunts. Giving your murderer advice on how to kill you. That's pretty cool. And then, of course, he snaps his fingers. It was...
Come on.
I don't know. I just wasn't really expecting them to lose. That was pretty intense.
Well, I knew that there was going to be 2 parts, so...
Yeah, but I
I was
don't...
like, eh.
I didn't actually think, like, the fighting was gonna happen. I thought they were just gonna...
I was like going to set up the next movie for a big fight where they would eventually... Yeah, I could see that.
That's what I thought. I thought that the first movie was Thanos going to be collecting the stones, which it was.
But he
and then the
does it
next
so
one...
incredibly quickly.
Yeah, the next one...
So everybody just answered.
What was the point of all the other movies?
Yeah, I thought the next one was going to be the final battle. But this one, it's like... The whole movie is the final battle, and then they lose. It's a freaking bold strategy, Cotton. You guys don't get that reference.
No.
Yeah,
Cool.
not even a little bit.
How about so bold yet so controversial?
Yes.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So bold, yet
It's
so controversial.
I hate that phrase. It's so funny. Anyway, yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's,
Wraps up Infinity War.
yeah, freaking great
nutshell.
movie. Nothing really bad to say about it. I mean, everything bad we had to say Maya fixed with her mind-blowing theory.
So true. Freaking.
I fixed the movie.
I fixed it, guys.
Watch the next movie be he just has just the worst intentions.
Yeah.
Not even a little
Not
bit
even a
close.
little right.
But it was a great thought, Kamea.
Great thought, but
completely
You're wrong.
So now, what did you want to do?
oh well, we were just gonna give our theories about what's gonna happen in the next one. Who wants to go first? I think we all kind of want to go first, so nobody steals ours. But
I'll go last. I don't care.
okay,
Why don't you go
Lisa,
first,
you
Maya?
want? Oh,
Wow.
I mean, I can go first.
Let's just go that way. Wow.
Well, I think in general, because we've talked about it before, we'll all have
Constantly.
sort of the same
Similar.
like details where,
Yeah.
I think they somehow get off Titan. They go find the others. But see, what I just don't know how Tony is going to find them because they're in Wakanda. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't know about Wakanda.
Wakanda exists.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point.
And obviously Nebula, like, what's she gonna do? Is she gonna stick with Tony? And like,
Or she's
obviously,
gonna be,
yeah.
like,
So I know,
scared.
yeah, like, bye.
Well,
So eventually, I think that they all. Well, I'm hoping that they all find a way to come back to each other
yeah.
because it's all the original Avengers left. So it's like
Basically.
they have to do something with that. So eventually, they find each other somehow. And what's interesting to me is, like, obviously Tony doesn't know what's going on in Wakanda. Obviously none of them know what's going on up there.
Yeah.
So it's like they're all fighting the same battle, just in different places.
Yeah, unaware of each other.
Yeah, unaware of each other.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, obviously they find each other somehow. They somehow, no idea how this is going to happen. But either they find a way without the time stone to travel back in time, or they're able to acquire the time stone. And it might be with Captain Marvel's help. Who knows? They go back to the Battle of New York to figure out stuff with Loki. Obviously, I think Loki's going to come back in that fashion. I don't know if he's really dead, but he's definitely coming back into the movies.
Yeah, I think he'll definitely be in that movie.
Yeah. And then they are eventually going to be able to get the Soul Stone, which is where everyone's hanging out in, hopefully.
Yeah, supposedly.
And they're going to be able to... Someone's going to have to die. Is my guess.
Well, for reals this time, though.
For, like, actual reals. And I don't know if it's going to be the old Avengers sacrificing themselves to save the people who are in the Soul Stone and, like, get them out.
Swap.
Yeah, like, swap places. Because, like, Black Widow would sacrifice herself for Scarlet Witch, Captain Rogers for Bucky, Iron Man for Spider-Man. But then I just don't think that there is a way that Captain America or an Iron Man, either one of them can die without it being about the other one.
Yeah.
Like, I just think that to really make it sink in that they're gone and not just trapped in a soul stone, like, and I think that they want to kill Iron Man for some reason, because you can kind of replace Iron Man. Mm-hmm. He's just a suit. You can get, obviously, that one guy has the suit.
Yeah.
War Machine. He also has a suit. You can't replace Captain America. So I think that they want to kill Iron Man, and I think he's going to sacrifice himself for Steve in the ultimate sacrifice, and also because he still loves Steve even though they had their issues, but...
Well, it would complete his story arc. He's needed to sacrifice himself.
Yeah, that too. And I don't know if, Avengers. Like... Because also another theory I have is that they are still split up throughout the movie, and then there's going to be this one scene where they finally come back together, and there's no, like, grand reunion or anything, but he suddenly, like, he sees that Steve is about to die or something, and he runs and he, like sacrifice. I know it's going to be really sad if they do it that way, because there was no, like, oh, hey friend.
They're
There's
not
just, like,
running
literally
towards each other.
They're not going to do that.
Slowly hugging.
Yeah, I think definitely that. I think their reunion will be one of them sacrificing for the other.
And that'll be the reunion. So, I mean, I hope that they don't do that, because you don't want it to be that sad, but it's a good story.
It would be, yeah.
I'm gonna bawl my eyes out.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm attached to Captain America as much as I'm attached to Iron Man, and I think it's because he's been in so many movies and you've seen him so much and you've seen him grow.
Yeah.
You haven't seen that really with Captain America. He's always just been a good guy.
Yeah. But you saw him grow in his own movie, in his the first movie.
But like Maya said, there's not as much character development.
Yeah,
he's always been a good
go
guy.
With him. Yeah,
he's pretty accurate.
The only way that they could go is down, and they're not going to do that.
Turn into the villain.
Yeah, even as a scrawny kid, he was still a good guy.
That's true.
What about you, Lisle? Are you done, man?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I mean, I feel like mine is, like she said, is going to be like
I think we've all
a little
reached
bit,
the same
but
conclusion.
Yeah, but I feel like, I don't know, I kind of feel like Nebula is just gonna ditch Tony, and then Tony's just gonna have to, like, find his own way back.
Which he can. He's
because
smart.
she does that all the time.
Yeah.
She comes and then she's like, "Oh, we're the last ones. Bye." And she's like,
Bye.
"Thanks, Nebula. Like, what the frick?" And so he's gonna have to find his way back. They are obviously not sure where he's at.
Yeah.
And who's alive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's like, for all they know, he could be dead. Like, nobody, like, the rest of the Avengers that aren't with them could be gone.
Yeah.
So they might not even be trying to find them. And so, like, I feel like they might go back to Doctor Strange's little guy.
Oh.
The
Oh, Wong.
Yeah, because he just goes back to, like, yeah. So maybe they go back to him and they're like, maybe he
he's
didn't
alive.
die. Yeah.
Yeah, because Bruce is still there.
Oh,
So he
and Bruce
could be
knows
like,
about
I
him.
know a guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so,
Right.
like, and he might have a way to go back in time.
Well, I don't think that at the time something
Or at
can,
least a
but-
way to
Yeah, a
way
locate the
to-
time.
Or,
stone.
yeah. And so they might locate Thanos and, like,
Take the time stone from him.
yeah,
Wow.
somehow. I don't know. And then hopefully freaking kill him. Oh my god. And then I think the same thing, they're gonna have to sacrifice. I mean, I kind of just thought one person like Captain America or Iron Man would sacrifice themselves to like to get everybody out of the Soul Stone somehow. Or they might have to go back to what is it called, Vormir,
Warming, yeah.
and ask the
Red Skull Man.
Red Skull.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Captain America is gonna be like, oh, hey, what's up?
yeah,
What's up, buddy?
And Bucky. Oh wait, no, did Bucky ever see him?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
so
But,
Bucky
yeah.
can say
Yeah.
the same if
Yeah.
he was alive.
And
but
so
he's
he
not.
might, like, they might ask him, and then he might be like, oh, you have to kill somebody or something,
Yeah.
and be all dramatic
Yeah.
about
See,
it.
I don't know if they're gonna kill more than just Captain or Tony because
They might kill, I feel
Yeah,
like,
they
what if
might
they kill
a
both?
lot of them,
That would be interesting.
That would be so depressing.
just in different
Would be.
ways. Yeah.
And so I do think, like, they're probably gonna, like, Tony's gonna sacrifice himself again, and it's probably gonna work this time. Or Captain America is gonna do that, which makes me really sad.
That would be more tragic.
What?
Captain
If
America,
Captain America sacrifices himself for Tony, that would be
No,
possibly
see,
the most tragic thing. Because Tony has constantly been trying to sacrifice. That's what I think. Anyway, sorry.
And I think Gamora is in the Soul Stone because she died for the Soul Stone. So
Yeah.
maybe her soul went
Is
into the Soul
everybody
Stone.
in there? Okay.
Well, the only people who wouldn't really be is Heimdall and Loki,
Yeah,
assuming
because
they're dead.
they
So, yeah,
didn't
they're
die.
dead, yeah.
Well, Heimdall's dead.
So
Yeah,
like when
but-
when they died, did everybody go in? Their souls go into their souls?
That's what the directors said.
Okay, yeah,
in an
that's
interview
what I thought I
somewhere.
heard. So that's
Yeah.
why I kept saying
Yeah,
they were in there.
I've heard that too.
Yeah.
So I think Gamora is in the Soul Stone, that she didn't die, because she died for the Soul Stone. So maybe every, like, soul that dies for the Soul Stone is in the
Is
Soul
in
Stone.
there? I hope so.
I hope so.
Or it can't be dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was one of the deaths. Because I was thinking, watching it, I was like, okay, I think everybody with a well, after watching it the first time, because the first time I was like, oh my god, they killed Gamora and Loki and Heimdall. But then once it got to Black Panther, I was like, none of this matters.
Yeah, once they showed Black Panther, I think I had the same thing too, and then definitely sealed the deal once Spider-Man died.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, this
okay,
is,
yeah.
they're going to reverse this. But I was thinking maybe everybody with a body is actually dead. Because the people who just flitter away they're coming back. But then I was like, well, but Gamora, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so, I don't know.
So maybe she is dead, but I don't feel like it was a very good death.
Yeah. She was killed.
Sad.
It wasn't as like it was sad,
It's
but I
not-
feel like it wasn't.
If she was killed
That's sad.
Quill, it would have been a lot more sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if
But-
Iron Man had actually died that way that everybody
That would
thought,
have been a good death.
not as good as him sacrificing himself
for
for Captain
Captain
America,
America.
though.
No, but
And he's
After
not
that
sacrificing
fight,
himself for anybody.
like I was rooting for Thanos to like move the blade up.
Oh my god.
I was like, oh my god, make sure he's
What's wrong with
dead.
you?
The heck?
Oh no, that would have been a good
Rude.
death.
Not for Tony.
That was such a
I
good
don't think
standoff.
So. Maybe
I mean,
like
it was sad and
maybe
maybe if
depressing.
it,
but
yeah, he needs a better death than just.
yeah.
It needs to be
Yeah.
in front of everybody.
he needs
so
to
everybody
sacrifice him.
can cry.
Yeah! And so everybody's like, okay, well, we forgive you now.
Yeah.
Now that
He
you're
can't
dead.
just- he can't just because they don't even know where Tony is. They wouldn't
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
just being told about it. Like it
Yeah.
wouldn't have been
No.
the same as seeing it.
I just yeah. In hindsight, yeah, it would be a better death if the whole sacrificing thing happened.
Yeah.
So anyway,
And so, yeah, that happens. And then they clean up New York in the universe because they
And
never do that.
They clean
Right.
up after themselves
Because
when they're done.
poor freaking New York, I swear. I would hate living in
Thank God we
that.
don't live there.
Yeah. I would hate living there.
Just in general.
This was actually real. Accurate.
But just in general too.
Accurate.
oh my god.
Yes.
Anyway, my theory is a bit crazier. I think at some point Nebula and Tony are going to team up with Captain Marvel. Either she's gonna find them on the planet or something.
I was thinking.
And then, like, she maybe recognizes what's happening when whoever she's with flitters away.
Oh.
And then she's like, Thanos.
And then she also
goes
gets the
to
signal
Titan.
too, I bet.
Oh, yeah, and then she
Yeah.
gets that thing. So, I think that... I mean, we'll have to see Captain Marvel to really know.
No, yeah.
But then... Because I think the Russo brothers have also said that the snap that Thanos did actually cost him something as well. Not just Gamora, but, like, something else.
What?
And so maybe he had some mental thing, and maybe he doesn't remember what he did. So they go and find Thanos, just take this time stone from him, and then... See, that's the thing, is I don't understand why they go back in time in all those behind-the-scenes photos that have cropped up. It's like, why? I don't know.
It has to do something with Loki and finding Thanos before...
Maybe they're trying to get the Soul Stones before... Infinity Stones before... Thanos can, and that's when they go back in time.
That's what
Because they know where they are.
Yeah.
Don't they?
But I mean, this is the one timeline where they win. That's why
Yeah.
Doctor
Because
Strange
Doctor
gave him the
Strange
time stone.
tells Tony, like, Tony, this was the only way.
Yeah. This
It was the one because they had to lose to win.
Yeah. So I don't know. I do think it would be more tragic if Captain America sacrifices himself for Tony. The thing is, Chris Evans said that the next one is his last Marvel movie. So either he dies or they write him out somehow. I think he has to die. I don't know if Tony signed on for more, or Robert Downey Jr. I think he would be, because he's the one making the most money out of all these. So it's like, why would he... Unless, I mean, he's getting old, so he's probably tired of doing...
Just the way that it looks right now is that they're setting up Tony to die because he's planning his future.
Yeah.
He almost just died.
Yeah.
I think it would complete his story arc.
Yeah.
But...
So that's why I'm wondering, maybe both of them do end up dying, and
one of them has to
it
sacrifice
would actually be really sad
Yeah.
if Tony sacrificed himself for Captain,
and then
Captain ends up dying just 30 minutes later
I
in the movie.
think what would be really cool if they did is if Captain America sacrifices himself for Tony, and then Captain America tells him the same thing that Yen Sid did.
Oh my god.
That would be amazing.
He's gonna be crushed.
And then Tony goes and kills
What
himself.
if? What? Oh no! And then Tony, Spider-Man is about to die, and then Tony freaking sacrifices himself for Spider-Man.
Well, I mean, the thing is Tony could retire and pass on the mantle of Iron Man.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like,
so that's why I don't know if he's gonna die. I think that Chris Evans or Captain America is gonna die.
So you can have a life with Pepper. Well, Tony, not Captain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Tony, or Steve, he doesn't have any future, really.
Yeah.
And he's also like 100
His
years old.
future died, 100 years ago.
Yeah. But yeah, so those are our theories. Really quick, I had some fun facts. These are from Sinfacts on Instagram. It's CIN Facts. These are just really fun. I'll try to do them really quick. Thanos fulfills the promises he makes. He spares Thor in exchange for Loki giving up the Space Stone. He spares Nebula in exchange for Gamora revealing the location of the Soul Stone. He spares Stark in exchange for Doctor Strange giving him the Time Stone. All three promised lives survive the snap. Nebula, Tony, and Thor all survived the snap.
Bless you.
Coincidental, but I thought that was really interesting. Also, the score, the music, when Tony Stark speaks to Pepper Potts on the ship when he's leaving, is the same music that plays when Steve Rogers talks to Peggy Carter in the first Captain America movie.
Oh my god.
I know. These people are evil.
Just ripped my heart out.
Yeah.
God. Already crushed it.
To make sure viewers could understand what each Infinity Stone did, every time Thanos gets a stone, he uses it in the next scene, which is cool.
Oh,
That's just nice filmmaking.
Thanks.
Right before Thanos escapes Wakanda, because this was actually an issue the first time I saw it, people were like, no, dude, he's still got the freaking injury. Like, he's still got Thor's giant hammer wound. Right before Thanos escapes Wakanda, you can see subtle green sparks of the Time Stone reversing his injury. And they show, like, slow motion video of, like, little green sparks fixing his wound.
wow.
Weird.
In Infinity War, each member of the Black Order dies to the first person they fight. which again is super interesting. Ebony Maw first fights Tony Stark and gets killed by Stark, who opens a hole in the spaceship. Ebony Maw was the icky guy. Cull Obsidian, who's the big guy, wants to help Thanos fight Hulk, but is stopped by Maw and ends up fighting Stark first. He is later killed by Banner, Hulk wearing Tony's armor.
Oh, wow. That's funny.
Corvus Glaive and Proxima Midnight try to get Vision's stone when they arrive on Earth. They respectively fight against Vision and Wanda. In Wakanda, Glaive gets stabbed by Vision, and Wanda blends Proxima Midnight. Then Thanos first fights Thor, and Thor is the first one to defeat him.
Oh, that's cool.
Interesting coincidence.
Fun facts.
Cool.
Yeah. Last one. When Iron Man suits up for the first time in Infinity War, you see his glasses are made of the nanomachines too, because the suit absorbs them.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fun little details.
Snap.
I liked it.
Snap, crackle, and
So.
pop.
Thank you for listening to this Infinity War extravaganza.
Send us your theories of how the next movie will go at
yourpositivereview@gmail.com. That's...
Your positive review,
at
gmail.com.
Thank
Jeez.
you.
Sorry. Wow.
yourpositivereview@gmail.com. Please. That'd be fun. We want to get people involved. We want to be involved with the people that are listening to us. And this is the easiest way I can think to do that because I hate social media. So just send me emails. So next week we will really be doing Constantine. We're going to have another special guest because our family will be visiting us out in Arizona.
Frick.
So somebody will be on the channel with us.
Bad
Maybe
Arizona,
all
here
of
we
them.
come.
I'm just kidding.
Maybe all of them.
Nobody will
'Cause
ever
it's
get any
not
talking
confusing.
time.
Yeah.
All of us will just be yelling at each other, having different
Yes.
conversations.
Yeah, exactly.
There'll be like 5 different conversations going on, so
Yeah.
nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah, because it's already chaotic enough as it is. But yeah, next week we will really be talking about Constantine, starring Keanu Reeves. I like that movie a lot. It's got a really good depiction of the devil. But
Rucifer.
same jokes she made last time. All right. What else? I was gonna say something else. No, I don't. Oh!
No.
Frickin' subscribe to our channel on YouTube if you're watching. That'd be cool. Make sure you smash that bell.
Ew.
Don't actually, though, because those notifications are super annoying.
True.
But if you could subscribe, that'd be super cool and helpful.
Also,
Follow us on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Your positive review.
Yeah, that too. We all have we have separate accounts, but I'm sure
But we're
whoever's
going to
listening
leave that one a mystery.
for now at some point.
bum.
Anyway, remember, well liked or panned, every story has a positive, and you're not alone finding it.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yep.
I like to add the number section to make it have some sort of legitimacy, to make it seem like we're not just idiots. And I'm not doing nothing.
Like a sunken tree, blah, 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 blah.
What the hell?